last 24 hours have been wildly turbulent surrounding the Democrats running for president. Jim Webb dropped out of the race a couple hours ago, and Joe Biden has been making some serious waves for Her Majesty's ship, Hillary Clinton. Remember when Hillary Clinton was asked which enemy she was most proud of at the Democratic debate?
Well, in addition to the NRA, the health insurance companies, the drug companies, the Iranians, probably the Republicans.
Well, for whatever reason, Joe Biden seems to have a much different view of the GOP.
Whenever there's a problem, I get sent to the Hill, which by the way, is a useful use of my time, because I really respect the members up there, and I still have a lot of Republican friends. I don't think my chief enemy is the Republican Party.
The VP also made clear that he, not the Secretary of State, speaks for the president when he goes overseas.
I will get sent to go speak to Putin or go speak to Erdogan or go speak to whomever, and it's because the Secretary of State, we've had two great Secretaries of State, but when I go, they know that I am speaking for the president.
Well, and finally, Clinton and Biden seem to have very different accounts of who supported the bin Laden raid.
It was a really tough decision to advise on because, you know, we didn't have the smoking gun. I was one who recommended to the president that he go ahead, and his advisors were split.
There were only two people who were definitive and were absolutely certain. Leon Panetta said go, and Bob Gates, who's already publicly said this, said don't go. I told him my opinion, that I thought he should go, but follow his own instincts.
And, of course, much has been written about Joe flip-flopping on that raid. But pictured right there, the moment bin Laden was taken out, there's Biden on the left, flanked by President Obama, Hillary on the right, flanked by Robert Gates. An amazing photo. Kimberly, what's all this about? Biden seems to be contradicting everything that Hillary said in the last couple of weeks.
Uh-oh, she just got big-footed. I like it. I think he's like being assertive. He's like, listen, I'm the big dog in town. I'm the one that's, calling the shots, speaking for the president, being firm in my decision-making, and saying that he essentially supersedes her. I like this. That, to me, sounds like a man with confidence that knows what he wants and is ready to get in.
Dana, in those three clips, Joe Biden said, I get along with the GOP. I speak for the president when we go overseas, or I go overseas, I'm sorry. And then the last one, I was in favor of the raid, when a lot of people have said he never actually was.
I think the most important one of those three is what he was saying about the Republicans, because this is a man who is now saying, like, I'm ready to lead this party and not be the president of just the Democrats, but the president of the entire nation. So he's saying, if your concern is that you think Washington can't get enough done, look to me, because I'm the one who knows how to cut a deal. And then the undercurrent is that what she said the other night is she chose to actually, I think it's interesting that she said the Iranians might be in that list, because actually she's in favor of a deal that got them everything that they wanted. So to me, when she said the Republicans, it was just so clear that she was trying to speak just to that audience right there, rather than realizing that she had no competition on the stage, and she just could have started running for the general election right there.
Do you think this is a trial balloon? He puts out these fairly provocative comments and see what the media comes back with, and come back with something.
He keeps dropping hints. He's like a spouse whose birthday's coming up, and also he's getting off. He's getting off on the attention. Biden's favorite topic, and you know this, Juan, we've been around, his favorite topic is Biden. He loves talking about himself. And the good news, he ran for president, I guess, back in the 80s. The good thing about it is there's a whole new slew of speeches that he can plagiarize. So it'll be fun. And I know that he's running because I heard he constructed a greenhouse that's stocked row and row of hair plugs.
Oh, you're mean.
I am. You know what? I'm tired of everybody saying, oh, he's such a nice guy. He's a great guy. Either run or don't run. Don't flirt with us. And I get he's likable. I get that. But he's likable in a way that Cosmo Kramer from Seinfeld was. He's kind of a walking misadventure.
What, you want to weigh in on this, Wano?
Greg, you don't get the drift here today.
No, I don't.
The drift is that Republicans are worried about Hillary and celebrating the idea that somebody could come in and, as Kimberly said, cause some turbulence for the great, ship.
No, I actually far prefer Joe Biden, and if the GOP drops the ball, I'd rather see Joe Biden president than Hillary Clinton any day because he respects the troops. He knows how to work across party lines. He's respected on the Hill.
Well,
he respects people like Dick Cheney.
The gist,
so this is
wrong.
legit.
The gist was, for a long time, everyone's been looking at the fighting going on the Republican side. It's kind of fun to sit back and watch it go on.
Well, no, that's what I was going to say to you, is that there's so much dysfunction right now on the Republican side that I think Republicans are like, hey, we want to see some of that on the Democratic side, and they hope that Joe Biden getting in would cause some trouble for Hillary. The problem with this theory is the polls out today all show Hillary getting a big bump out of the debate, right? Yep. And if you ask Democrats, not Republicans, but Democrats, you only get 30% of them who say, yeah, Joe Biden should run. In fact, 38, nearly 40% say don't run.
But he's not even started to campaign. And Juan, I actually think the analysis that you just put forth is not accurate. I think that most Republicans, strategists, think that Biden would be harder to beat in a general election.
True.
I'm telling you that's what.
Well, that's no poll that shows that.
There are polls that show that.
Joe Biden would be tougher to beat than
I'm not talking about a poll. I'm talking about just sources.
No, the head-to-head. No, you should. We are. Yes. Joe Biden outperforms Hillary Clinton when you go head-to-head against every single Republican.
There might be some outliers.
I don't get. No, there's not outliers.
How
come liberals aren't going after Biden as a misogynist for attempting to block a woman from becoming the first female president, whereas the Republicans are terrible because they're going up against Biden.
Just wait. If he announces, they will do that within 48 hours.
Well, let's move on to the.
I think I might have seen that. That's why I said 48 hours.
Oh, less than 48 hours. Hillary Clinton testifies in front of the House Select Committee on Benghazi. Senator McCain explains why this hearing is so important.
I think that every major investigation that you and I have seen leads in different directions. Certainly Watergate was a great example of that. I happened to be on a Sunday morning show right after the now National Security Advisor, Susan Rice, talked about hateful videos and spontaneous demonstrations. And I said then, nobody brings an RPG and a mortar to a spontaneous demonstration. I was at Andrews, and Hillary Clinton told the families, well, we'll get these people that made this hateful video. By that time, it was obvious that there was no hateful video.
The left thinks these hearings are political, but each time we learn new information on what happened in Benghazi, and maybe more importantly, we learn what character, if any, makes up a presidential frontrunner. Quick round on it, Juan, your thoughts. This is, I know Benghazi 8, but every time we have more information.
No, more information is legit. So at this point, you can say, well, we didn't know about the emails and some of the secret accounts before. There's the potential for something there. We'll see if anything comes of it. The big news in Washington recently has been that Trey Gowdy, the chair, thought he had something in terms of a CIA source being named. Turned out the CIA didn't think it was confidential, so that's fine. I think the bigger issue here, speaking to Senator McCain, who's just a wonderful guy and I think, legitimate in what his concerns are, is that there have been 7 hearings. He's testified numerous times. There's been a independent authority report. So I think the bigger worry actually could be that Hillary Clinton uses the Republicans and absolutely makes this into like a Ollie North. Was it Ollie North who sat there and made them look like chumps?
Yeah, maybe. But here, we always have to go back to what is the logic behind pushing that video? Like, what were they thinking? So I always like to walk through these steps, especially for Juan, since, Juan is sometimes not here.
Right.
Even when he's here.
That's true.
For the logic of pushing the video to work, there has to be 4 steps. 5 steps. 1, some guy gets on YouTube, right? He's looking for cat videos. He's saying, I'm going to watch. And then all of a sudden, he finds this weird, obscure video about Muhammad. And it's a coincidence that he found it on 9/11, on September 11th. It just happened to happen. And you know what he does? Normally, he was going to go to work or his piano lessons. But he decides, no, you know what? I'm going to call my friends. And they're all accountants and florists. But they go, yes, we're pissed off, too. So they all go out to a consulate. They burn it down and they kill 4 people. And then they go, you know what? Let's go all back to work, to our jobs. And so they go back to their jobs as florists and accountants, and they never do it again because they weren't terrorists.
Right.
That's the logic that you need to believe Hillary Clinton.
That's it.
It's impossible.
Hungry for cat videos started it all.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Did I just crush you, Juan?
No, but it's interesting to me. I sometimes because I'm not here, mentally. Sometimes when I do focus, and I focus on you, I think, man, is he from another planet?
Oh, thank you.
Because, the fact is...
I'm a brother from another planet.
Check it out. I agree with that.
Oh, my God.
But what I'm saying to you is, guess what? There was a video, and it did spark protest that everyone agrees.
Five people saw it.
I don't know how many people
Juan,
saw it, but there's no
this is not
question that it
true.
started
Let's get Dana
debate
here weighing on the Benghazi
Ghost
hearings.
created more outrage.
Well, I don't know.
Okay, well, I think that the most important thing that what John McCain is talking about is when there is a hearing like this, sometimes you find out something that you weren't even looking for. In this case, it is the fact that she had a private server at all. She has subsequently told several different stories, changing her stories. It made her look like she was lying. And then over the summer, because she couldn't get her story straight, she said, I'll come to that hearing and I will testify, because she wanted to get it behind her. Now she doesn't want to go, but there's going to be a hearing, so she's going to have to show up and answer the questions. But the number one thing that we learned is that there was a private server at all, which was possibly against the law, but absolutely against Obama administration guidelines.
Policy,
and she was a cabinet secretary.
Hence the comment coming out of that last soundbite about character, if any. President Bush 43 creating some news himself, suggesting he doesn't like Ted Cruz and Marco Rubio might not be ready for the presidency. Now, Rubio, for his part, responded a couple of minutes ago with Neil.
Well, I don't even know if he said that, number one. And number two, it sounds like him just telling a joke. It sounds like a funny thing to say. The press in general operates on conflict. I'm not running against anybody. I'm running for president.
Interesting timing on the comments out of 43, though.
Well, I think that he has said that he's for his brother, right? So then he's been at events, and nobody necessarily wants their private comments to be broadcast. But in today's day and age, that's what happens. So your public comments, and even in a private setting, have to be in direct proportion to how many people you think are going to then tell someone else about it. I loved how Rubio handled that, because he took it actually kind of as a compliment, made it a nice little moment, and moved on to make his point of, this is why I'm running for president. And I thought he handled that perfectly and has really grown as a candidate.
Well, you are a sweet person. You are just a delight, because how can you not see that, in fact, he went after Rubio at Rubio's main point of vulnerability?
But don't you see that didn't you see the follow-up comment when he said, of course, I could be wrong, and next year I'll be back here telling you he was the perfect candidate?
Well, but at that point,
That's why he was saying it was a joke and that it was funny.
Yeah, and he's saying he's a party loyalist.
And he didn't take offense, which he doesn't make himself a victim, which people like.
So, can I be a conspiracy theorist? Well, these comments are provocative, and we're talking about it. What are we not talking about?
Oh, my God, could we please talk about it?
No, are we not talking about this thing that, by the way, Jeb Bush was on Hannity last night. Donald Trump was on Hannity today.
I knew it was coming.
And it continued, but we're talking about something else. All right, we'll talk about
what thing are we talking about? I missed something because I wasn't here yesterday. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you slept in. We had a show. It was interesting.
Really?
Yeah.
No, wait, what are we talking about?
It was a feud with the front runner going against the guy with the most money in the race, and those things tend to be talked about.
Jeb and Trump about 9/11.
Well, here's the issue. We're talking about Donald Trump and 9/11. What's interesting is that he has managed to pull right-wingers, even at Fox News, into the same camp as left-wing haters. So there's almost no difference between some people at this table and Chris Matthews and Trevor Noah, who all agree that Bush is a bad guy. That is amazing. That's quite an achievement.
Agree that Bush is a bad guy?
Yes, because he knew that 9/11 was happening.
Oh my gosh, this is so absurd.
No one at this table necessarily.
I watched.
Saying. Okay. Why would Greg think that you would say...
I love the Bush family. I've got to tell you, I can't get enough. I hope more of them run. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Pierce Bush is going to run in 2028.
Yeah.
But wait, before we go, what about his comments about Cruz?
And George P.
I'm not sure.
That probably helps
Cruz.
Cruz.
What was the point?
Look,
the comments are everybody knows.
I don't like
it's not a secret.
How about I don't like his policy, or I don't like where he is on the Second Amendment.
And you know what? I think Cruz handled that well, too, because he said, look, I worked for him. I really respect him. They provided my wife and I an opportunity to actually meet. We loved working for him, and he didn't take the bait on it. But also, Ted Cruz has been running against the establishment for the whole time. That's one of the reasons. This actually probably helped him.
This helped him. But, Dana, the idea that...
with a certain policy, with his little base.
But, Dana, he didn't say policy. It was like he said, I don't like that guy.
Oh, were you there, Juan?
That's what he said.
Did he say it like that?
In other words,
it's blunt. It's bold. It's refreshing.
Well, how many people have you heard say that?
Yeah, we're into that. We're into people bashing other people.
Yeah. Counterpunching.
Yes.
Bashing. Bashing.